So now we will be talking about indirect taxes. Let me tell you one thing, that law has been changing continuously. It has to be dynamic. Why? That's what we call amendments. Amendments are always there in law. Why? That is called evolution of law. Circumstances keep on changing, and accordingly the law has to be changed to cope up with the circumstances. But the basic structure of the law never changes. What I studied in the year 87, 88, the same thing I am teaching you today. Only that the titles are changing. Right? At that time it was central excise. Then later on came service tax. Today we have a combination of both the things taken together, excise plus service tax taken together, we call it GST. So basic structure of the law never changes irrespective of number of amendments. So what changes? What are the amendments then? If the basic structure remains same, then what changes? What for amendments are there? Only procedural changes are there. Only procedural. Earlier you were required to file it on return by in the physical form. Today you have to file it online. Earlier the time available was 3 months, and now the time available is 1 month because of the facility available to you for filing the documents. Right. Earlier the credit system was different, that if you have the document you can take the credit and later on it can be checked or not. But today it is online, everything can be verified, cross verification is there. So accept the procedural matter. The basic structure of law will never change, irrespective of number of amendments. Irrespective of number of amendments, there will always be a taxable event. When there is a tax, there has to be a taxable event. Whenever there is a taxable event, the tax liability accrues. The tax it is not that the tax becomes payable, the liability accrues, right? And when it is payable, how it is payable, that is procedural. Without a taxable event, there will be no tax liability, isn't it? So once the taxable event has taken place, means the tax liability is accrued and it becomes payable as per the procedure prescribed therein. Right? Now earlier, when I was studying, excise was required to be deposited in advance. Excise was required to be deposited in advance. Right? Later on came the system of periodical payments. That too later on. Right? Same system is continuing now also. So the taxable event takes place today and you pay later on. Right? That too without any interest, without any liability. Same happens in case of income tax also. That income is being earned on day-to-day basis, but the taxable event is also happening on day-to-day basis, but we don't pay tax on day-to-day basis. Isn't it? Going by the law, the tax is due to government today when I earn today. Government can very well charge me interest from today itself, that this money belongs to us and you are using our money, you need to pay interest on that. But that is not. That is all the procedural matter is. So what the amendments are? Amendments are only to facilitate the compliance of law in the changed circumstances. No major change will ever come. You will never find a law where the taxable event itself has changed. It will never happen. Got it? Now coming to the most important part. When you can say that you have understood the subject? What is the landmark? If you listen my lecture twice or thrice, do you think you will understand? Now, understanding is one word which has been used very, very liberally, and that's why people don't understand. I tell you today, what is the meaning of understanding? Right? If you can explain the subject to anybody to make him understand, then only you understand. Otherwise, you have read, you have memorized. And understanding comes beyond that. Isn't it? So, if you can explain the subject to somebody so that he understands, only then you can say that yes, you understand the topic. Keep in mind, when we go forward, that every time you need to prepare yourself as if you need to explain it to somebody else. And if you do that, nobody can challenge you anytime, not even in the exam, even anytime in the future also. Right? And how you can get that command? How you can get that command? So that you can make other person understand. Only one simple formula. And that is called as many times you repeat, as many times you revise, every time you will learn something new. Every time. So even when you have revised it 100 times and you are doing it 101st time, still there will be something more to learn. And if I am telling you to revise 100 times, lots and lots of patience is needed for that. How many times generally you revise before writing in the exam? How many times is sufficient? Twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times? No. During the course of these lectures, I'll tell you how to revise. Revision has to be very, very fast. If I want to give you a chart about the retention and forgetting the subject, this is 100%. This goes in number of days. If I start with 100%, at the end of day 1 itself, it comes down here. Day 2, day 10, it's gone. The maximum loss happens in first 3 days. And this is the time when we don't revise. What will happen if you revise on the day 1 again, day 2 again, day 3 again? What will happen? This speed of loss of retention is reduced by more than 50%. Right? What will happen if you revise for 3 days continuously? It will become something like this. Right? If you have revised it 100 times, what happens? The line will be like this. What you would like to do? Now you can take a good decision after knowing the fact what you should be doing. Now you think of, go in your past, that if you attended some lecture, how much you retained immediately after the end of lecture. Today itself you can judge that. Okay. I said on day 1 itself is the maximum loss. So when you listen a lecture for 3 hours, for how long you can explain it to somebody? 10 minutes? 15 minutes? Half an hour? Not beyond that. So when you are listening a lecture for 3 hours and you cannot explain it to somebody more than half an hour, means 80% is gone. That is immediately after the lecture. And by chance somebody asks you to revise that in the evening or next day, you don't have contents even for 10 minutes. Isn't it? That is practical and that you have already experienced number of times. I am just trying to revise, make you remind that the maximum loss happens on day 1. Right? Slightly lesser, day 2. Something less, day 3. Thereafter, it is a very negligible loss. But continuously, and if you don't do that for 60 days, and then you open the book again, you will find as if you are reading afresh. You have never read it before. Has it happened in the past or not? Except remembering the title of the chapter, we don't remember anything else. If this is the gap. Isn't it? And title also you remember because you have directly or indirectly revised that hundreds of times. That's why the title is also there, otherwise that is also gone. Got it? This is the formula for success in any part of your life, right? Now, what pushes you forward to put in extraordinary efforts? What is the difference between a person who succeeds and the person who does not succeed? That is this is something which pushes a person forward towards the positive result. A person who is already accustomed to this, there are more chances that he is going to see the same result again. Today you go out and check the people, those who have appeared thrice or 4 times in the exam, they are hardly bothered about the result next time. So as a matter of routine, they will fill up the form, appear in the exam, and they are not concerned whether they are going to pass or not. Who is there to blame? Either institute or the evaluator who is giving the marks on the mark sheet. They are wrong. They don't want him to pass. What do people do? They blame. And blame means what? A person who's failing will certainly blame the circumstances, the office, the principal, the boss, the colleagues, the books, the material, the teacher, the institute, the evaluator. Everything is to be blamed except himself. Have you seen this? Everybody does it. No, but they don't understand what is the meaning of blaming. Blame means what? And the moment you understand that, you will start blaming anything and any person. Blame means being lame. That's how this word has been created. The moment you blame somebody, you're announcing to the world that I am now try to blame somebody. Got it? Something very, very powerful. If you understand the meaning of this word, right, you'll never blame anybody in the lifetime. The moment you blame, you're announcing to the world that I am lame. Take charge of your life. Be the decision maker. There is nothing like luck. The God has given you one power, that is power to choose. What you choose to do today, that will determine your results in future. Right? There is nothing like luck. It's the way how you think. Right? I told you, the fear of failure. The greatest push. If you fear failure, you can do anything. If you don't fear failure, you are already a failure. Isn't it? If the person does not fear failure, he will not get up, he will not revise, he will not practice. And if he does not revise, if he does not practice, this is guaranteed. So this fear is the greatest success factor. Greatest. Now, one more thing before I finally start with the subject. To what extent your external circumstances affect you? This is you, and this is your external world. Right? As I said just now, that people outside, circumstances prevailing outside, all other conditions prevailing outside, all of them taken together is how I respond. If people are good, I am good. If everything is good, then I will study. If somebody can give me assurance I will pass, then yes, I will write the exam. nothing external can control you, provided this inside you have something good. The kind of seed will determine the quality of the fruit, isn't it? And the seed is inside. Where is the seed in your body? It is there. So kind of your thinking will determine to what extent you are affected by the external circumstances. Your thought will determine how you respond to external circumstances. In the same environment, you will find number of people disturbed, some of the people not affected, some of the people enjoying. Means external circumstances do not affect everybody in the same manner. Isn't it? Everybody responds differently to the same thing. Where is the difference? What do you think about that? That will determine how you respond. So external things you cannot control, but what you can control is your own thought process. What do you think? Thoughts will keep on coming, right? But what you entertain, that is important. How many thoughts you have in a day? Research studies show that around 60,000 thoughts a day. And basic human nature is fear. So most of the thoughts will be negative. But whether you hold those negative or you reject those, that is your choice. If you hold negative thoughts, means the seeds are negative, what is going to be the result? Negative again. So reject the negative thoughts, hold on to the positive thoughts, give your all the energy to the positivity, and the results will be positive. So external cannot control your internal, but through your internal you can control your external. In this we have mainly two things. One is GST and another is customs and foreign trade policy. And as I said, evolution never stops. Amendments will also never stop. But the basic theme of the law will always remain same. Even after 25 years, 30 years, if you study, you will find the law is same. Right? Take example company law. Earlier it was Companies Act 1956 and as of today it is Companies 2013. And you are not supposed to go through Companies Act 1956, but I understand both the laws, no change. Law is exactly same what it was in 1956, what it was in 1980s, what it was 1990s. It was same. It has not changed. So what has changed? Procedural. Some number changes, but the basic theme of law is same. So there also it will remain same. So whether we are studying now or this we are studying after 5 years, the law is going to be same. Earlier the better. Why? You got more chances to revise, more chances to understand. And when you understand, if you can explain it to somebody to make him understand, revise it so many times. Okay? This will give you 75 marks, and this portion gives you 25 marks. And in each portion there is practical portion. So in total, practical questions means calculation based. Practical questions are also two types, that is calculation based and application based, right? So practicals will be for 25 to 30 marks. Then there will be some application based questions. This is also same. So if you understand the law, they have given you circumstantial question and apply the correct law. That is also a practical question. Then there are purely theoretical questions that they directly give you some topic and need to elaborate on that. So balance is that. So if you want to only pass, what is needed? Only this portion can get you through, but nobody is interested in only passing, right? So then you have to understand application, and to get the best, do the practical questions. And once you understand the law, you will find that you can revise this entire paper in 2 to 3 hours time. 2 to 3 hours. You can revise the whole paper. I'll make you understand that. Okay? Now tell you something very interesting, that in Indian education system as of today, what we have a system of reading, then leading to memorize. Next step is reproduce, and you score well, and this is called success. This is Indian education system as of now. There is no scope for application of law. Any subject is like this. Either read or somebody teaches you, you memorize, if you can reproduce well, you can score well, it means you are very good, you are bright student, you are successful. What should be the real thing? Where are the maximum marks? Earlier I told you. In the practical application, 60 marks out of 100 are on that. So where you should be focusing on? On this process or the other process? Read, revise, understand, apply. Which is more important? This is the real thing, not this. The people, those who are successful here, they usually fail in life. What they haven't done? They have good memory. They can reproduce well, but nothing beyond that. You focus here. Read, revise, understand, and apply. Will you ever go to a surgeon who has scored 100 marks in surgery paper, but he has never practiced in the operation theatre? He scored 100 marks, but he has never gone to operation theatre. What is needed? Even if he just passed with 50 marks, that is good enough, but he has spent most of the time in the operation theatre. Same is the expectation from you as well. Where the mistake is being committed? Mistake is there. Memorize, reproduce, same. Why? Who's asking you to reproduce same? It is not your memory test. Isn't it? Your exam is an exam of understanding. If you understand, marks are yours. The focus is on the wrong direction. That whether you understand or not, you first of all you memorize. Then if you can reproduce as it is, marks are yours. Keep this in mind. Your focus should not be on this. Your focus should be here. Read, revise, understand, and then apply. Right? If you can apply, nobody can take away those 60 marks from you. If you focus here, your target is only 40 marks. So this is the formula which lots of people do not understand. And since early childhood, you have been given to understand this only. You want to score 98% in the 10th, you want to score 99% in 12th standard. How you can get that 98 and 99%? Unless you do this. And by chance, the entire focus in the education system to 12th standard is on that only. So, wrong training for 12 years. They spoiled complete education system, complete creativity of yours has been destroyed systematically. But now you have a choice of correcting it. This is needed. I don't say not required at all, but this is not the focus area. Focus area is understanding and application. Give a wild thought that if this happens, that how the law will operate. If you have the exact circumstances, good enough. Give a wild thought. What will happen if this is the circumstance? And you will never have any thought for which there is no answer. Answers are always there. Okay? Need to explore. So I have also told you where your focus should be while studying. Now come to the material part that I have given you. Now, since law keeps on updating, amending, we have to study the basic law. And basic law is always better to go through the text of the law itself. Right? So, as far as GST is concerned, In this mainly two laws are there. One is CGST, another is IGST. Central Goods and Services Tax. This is Integrated Goods and Services Tax, right? With here we have Act and rules. Here also we have Act and rules. And out of this, this is mean. This is mean. This also we are going to talk about. And while talking about these topics, somewhere we will cover up this portion as well. But the main is CGST. And in this also, the most important part is first 13 pages of the material that I have given you. Just see what is there in the first 13 pages. What is there in? There is a complete index, right? I've given you entire act and the rules applicable for that particular chapter at the respective places. So need not explore where the entire act is and what are the rules relevant. So everything is given at the right place. Got it? So your homework starts from this moment onwards. Every day just add 3 lines or 3 sections in your memory. That's it. Just 3, not beyond that. The day you remember these 13 pages 100%, you will be treated as an authority on the subject. If you can reproduce the list of 172 sections, ordinary person will not even discuss with you. The first step I have given you, these 13 pages. Okay? Second part, other than GST, that is customs. Along with customs, we have foreign trade policy. So, foreign trade policy you can understand only if you understand this well. Otherwise, lots of terminology which has been used in foreign trade policy that is not understood. And that is the reason people leave foreign trade policy, because they don't understand the terminology. And why they don't understand? Because they don't understand this. So while preparing for the exam, 25% portion is already left. And in remaining 75%, preparation is only 50%. So what is the percentage of preparation? Out of 100%, 25% already left out. And in balance also they have 50% preparation. So how much is preparation? So with this much of preparation, people appear in the exam with the expectation of passing. Should they pass? When their preparation itself is less than 50%, who is going to give them 50 marks? Prepare for 80%. Then 40 is a guarantee. Isn't it? They prepare for less than 50% and then they expect 50 out of that. How is that possible? Prepare 80%, good enough. Nobody can stop you from passing. But when you do that, be 100% prepared in that 80%. So here we will do everything with the act and rules. Practical application, once you understand the law, I'll teach you how to practically apply. Number of questions we will discuss later on. Okay, so, and that can be done only when we have completed the entire topic. When I am saying GST means entire GST we are done, thereafter we can discuss 500 questions. Because one question may be related to number of topics. If I answer you something today, means I am answering, I am revising for myself, not for you. But once you know the entire law, then we discuss the question answer, it becomes something interesting. Isn't it? So it will take time before we jump to the question answers. First, let us complete the topic. Now, as far as amendments are concerned, just turn few pages. At the end of the page or toward the bottom side, you will find lots of footnotes. Bottom of the page. Saw those? All amendments relevant for your exam, I'll always give you through by way of these footnotes. All amendments till these dates have been incorporated in the material. But what I have highlighted is what is relevant for you. It means you need not go through amendment list again at any cost. Because what you have read or what we are going to study, that is already amended, relevant for your exam. So you need not bother in the last month of the exam that let me focus on the amendments. Not at all. These are already there in your material given to you. Right. At the most, what you can do is that on the last day of the exam, just refer these footnotes and read that portion again. So that is afresh on the day when you are going for the exam. That yes, all these amendments I am already aware of. Okay. Now, what the GST is?